So if that were the case,
yes,
why then do you think that if we had stayed with the parliamentary system,
yes,
that might have changed?
where it will change is this. There is comfort. There is comfort in development. With the type of development that would arise in all the states, there will be confidence in the system. For instance, yes, there will be confidence in the system. But when there is failing, everybody will lose confidence. What I'm trying to put across here is that empowering the states at that period, like the 12 states, giving them enough resources, developing sufficiently, the people who have rallied around that system, call it the state, even if you don't have what you may call, and of course the leadership that brought about that restructuring and so on will be a symbol to associate with. But when you have so many disparate poor states, people lose confidence in your system. Right now, we don't have confidence in the system.
Speak to this narrative, this school of thought that believes that, in spite of all, if we had a good leadership recruitment process,
yes,
we won't be talking about these challenges.
Fine, I agree. But then the process is this. You see, we missed it a lot, unfortunately, painfully. We thought if the military had been national military, it would have given us that leadership. But unfortunately, our military was not a national military. It was not a national military. Ataturk of Turkey built President Turkey. That was military. How many do we start mentioning? So you lost it at that point. Military devoted time congratulating itself that they had won the Civil War without devoting time to building the nation, making the sacrifice that would be the nation. They grabbed more than the civilians.
But
and
what
that,
about,
of course, destroyed extra confidence we would have had in the system. And they have gone that way all along.
I know people cite the examples of Turkey, Singapore, yes, how their systems worked, but then when they bring it back here, they think, nah, with over 250 or 300 ethnic groups, how was that ever going to work?
I agree with you. Fine. That's what I'm talking about. There's socialization. Socialization process. You devote time making the sacrifice. Let me go back a little again. For those who were here in 1976, Muritala was there in 6 months. Painfully, we can't cite it now because it was too short. You will see this man making the sacrifices of leadership, speaking truth to the system. We saw, but for a brief period, the same unfortunate thing about leadership destroyed him. So we couldn't go far. So now in history and in teaching, we rarely cite that as an example because it was too short. So we wouldn't be able to know how it would have been sustained over time. But that was it. He was a military leader. Walking along, all the paraphernalia of he shaded them. This was a man, well, they said politically that was suicide. He was going along without bothering about all the security and all that. And people were on with him within that period. Unfortunately, we lost it. That was the emergence of a leadership. So that's why I say it appears simplistic to say leadership. The problem we face is how do you come about it? But the greatest we know is through socialization. Through socialization. Here now, for instance, you teach in school. Children go home, see different things from their parents, see different things from their churches. So how do you bring about a uniformed ideological thought?
Let me even bring in this point, Prof.
Yes.
I mean, you have the political science department at University of Lagos.
Yes.
And people will say, look, no matter from Po 101 up till the final year, the courses they take in political science, when you get to real life politics in Nigeria, it is never what you've seen in those
I agree with you. The reason is this. You see, once the bottom is rotten, it's difficult for you to sustain anything. Already the system is bad. That's what we tell even those who send their children abroad. Maybe they are coming back here. That's what because already the system is porous. The system is bad. I wouldn't want to suggest that it must be revolution. No. But those of us who feel in the position to assist would have to come back together to reality. You cannot be seeing people looting in the assemblies, looting in the executive, and then you want a freshman from the university to come and what is it coming to kill? For error or for good? And when you want to correct it to an individual, they will just pick you and eliminate you because there was already rotten, bad leadership. I'm sorry, our leadership has problems.
Prof.
So yes, so So it's a problem.
You paint a very dark cloud over the nation. But let's see, is there a glimmer of hope? How do we meander through this murky waters and get to...
Let me tell you, I think there is hope. The way the hope will start is this. Liberate the energies. Give these states their autonomy. I bet you the Southwest will be doing it well. Others will have to see. They'll have to copy. You get the point I'm making? Give them this autonomy. Give them the resources. Let us take, we're here in Southwest. The Southwest is doing it well. Lagos State is doing it well. Others will copy. The man in Akwa Ibom did it well. You copy. The person, Peter Obi came to Anambra. Anambra was dead. Under 8 years, Obi made Anambra something to admire. Others will copy. That is where to begin. But if you tie everybody to a federal, impossible administration, it becomes difficult to move.
I like the fact that you're not using the word restructuring, because there's that issue of how do we define
those
restructuring?
Who don't want to accept restructuring are only, I'm sorry to say, I wouldn't say they are mischievous, but they are playing politics. They know what it means. Resource control is restructuring. Creation of states is restructuring. There is a place we have mentioned that resource control is an economic language for a political demand. That's what the restructuring is.
Did I just say mention creation of states?
No, I said that what do you call it? What do you call that's resource control. Resource control is an economic language for a political demand.
No, you mentioned when you said resource control is restructuring.
State creation is restructuring.
So are you saying there should be more states created?
If you ask me, we shouldn't have gone beyond 19 states. What you don't know, you don't know. When 19 states were being canvassed for, or rather, between 12 states and 19 states, late Professor Dudley wrote that please, you should not create more states. That more states will destroy federalism. Most of us didn't understand it. I'm now of that school. Creation of more states beyond 19 destroyed the federation. Because you made the states just like villages that could not even pay salaries. You inadvertently remove the powers that will make them states.
So that was contrary to what they thought, that when you create those states, development comes to the people.
That was the thinking. How would you run those states? Because you had oil. How would you run them? Do you know the overhead cost of 36 assemblies? Nobody has thought of that. Run a very expensive federation that you can't maintain because of oil.
What if you had created those states and then said, all right, the resources in each states have got to control your resources, pay some tax to the center?
What resources did they have?
They have huge mineral resources.
Fine, they had mineral resources that were there. You need resources to extract.